Unless you've been living under a rock for the past few months, you know that the fourth Indiana Jones film is coming out. And to be honest, I don't know what to think about it. On one hand, I am cautiously optimistic because I am a fan of the series, but on the other hand, I don't know if it's gonna work. I mean, let's face it, Harrison Ford is like 65 years old, and the initial review I saw at Ain't It Cool News didn't look too good. But oh well, we'll see what happens. Having gotten that out of the way, let's get to the real subject at hand. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures for the SNES. Simply put, I think this is one of the best indie games ever made, if not the best. And it sure as hell is better than Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom for the NES, or the two Last Crusade games. Oh my god, those really suck balls. I mean, I don't know how you can fuck up Indiana Jones. He's such a great hero. All you need is the hat, the whip, the gun. Ba-boom, you got Indiana Jones. But no, they just keep fucking it up. But thankfully, Factor 5 and JVC did it right for once. So let's get into it. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures for the SNES. The graphics in this game look superb. Check out the background detail and the way the leaves blow across as Indy runs. It's just that little attention to detail that really sells the game and makes it more enjoyable. Also, the enemy animations are quite good too, certainly better than the NES version of Last Crusade and the Atari version of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Speaking of enemies, you could argue that it's a little ridiculous to have Indy running around killing piranhas and bats, but hey, it's not that bad. Certainly they could have done a lot worse, like just having him fight mini boulders or some shit like that. Another area where this game shines is the use of weapons, in particular the grenade, where you can blow the fuck out of these assholes. Also, the whip is much better than it was in Last Crusade for the NES. As you'll recall, Sycophant said that the whip was very persnickety, and I think that was the perfect description for it, because sometimes you could whip enemies, and the animation would show you whipping an enemy, but the hit wouldn't register, and that really sucked. But thankfully, this game doesn't have that problem. And it's not like Emperor's Tomb either, where you have to whip an enemy 50 fucking times to kill him. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I think this game struck just the right balance between a powerful whip, but not too powerful. And the controls in this game are extremely responsive. If you move Indy right, he'll move right. If you move him left, he'll move left. There's no lagging or none of this crap like in Darkman or Lethal Weapon where he slips and slides. The controls are very, very tight. And that's a good thing considering how bad they were in the other Indy games. Especially I'm thinking of Temple of Doom, which was fucking horrible. I mean, you try to jump and Indy ends up jumping in a fucking pit of lava. How can you possibly call that good control? I think the game's difficulty is just about right. It's tough, but it's not so tough that you want to punch the nearest wall. And the game's very generous when it comes to giving you extra lives, and you have 3 continues as well as the password system. Certainly it's more generous than Last Crusade or Temple of Doom, which only gave you a limited amount of lives and no continues. For the most part, I think the game does a really good job adapting the movies into the game, in particular this boulder chase scene, which will really get your blood pumping as you play it. But there are a couple of glaring omissions in the game, and in particular, I wish they had added the airplane fight and the desert chase from Raiders, and the spiked room trap from Doom, and even the boat fight from Last Crusade. Those would have been nice additions to have in the game. But oh well, it's a minor gripe in an otherwise really good game. So, in conclusion, even if you don't like Indiana Jones, and I don't know why you wouldn't like Indiana Jones, but even if you don't like him, I think this game is well worth your time to seek out. This is Film and Stuff signing off. Thanks for watching. Hoo-wee, when those Arabs light their own farts, they don't fuck around.